Have you been to Nachiwogo landing site? It's the point that connects Entebbe to Buwaya. To get to Buwaya, you have to first cross some part of Lake Victoria. You either use a ferry or those boats that you see there. It is 3,000 shillings on a boat, and the ferry is a government facility free of charge. The ferry carries people, human beings, and vehicles plus luggage. The landing site has a lot of business ongoing, as you can see. People offloading boats. They are offloading firewood off boats. Those boats get the firewood from the villages across the lake, and here they bring the firewood to the landing site, and it ends up in people's kitchens. You get? It's an interesting place with a very good view to look at. Those are the houses. There is a time the Lake Victoria burst its banks, and all those houses were immersed into water of the lake. But when it dried up, it's now all clear. The houses are back to their normal state and now free. There are speedboats here. Actually, if you don't want to jump on a ferry or use the other ordinary boats of ours, there are those speedboats that people hire. Those, I'll call it VIP service delivery. Those who want to move in a VIP mode, that's what they go for. And now that is the beautiful Lake Victoria, as you can see. This is the engine of our ferry. I'm on a ferry ready to set off to Buwaya. This is the middle of the lake. So beautiful, very nice looking as usual. Like I said, the ferry carries between 8 to 9 cars and lorries. These are my neighbors at the ferry. You can see this is another lorry that comes in to be ferried across the lake. Some beautiful experience here. After luggage, vehicles and trucks are packed on the ferry, now human beings start taking position. They start taking their seats to also be ferried to the other side of the lake. You can see borders, the vehicles that I told you about. The empty seats that we saw at the beginning of the video are all now filled by human beings, by those Ugandans that want to cross to Buwaya and the other side of Lake Victoria. This is our the cabin crew, I'll call it, for the captain that sails this ferry. And it's set to give us a trip to the other side of the lake. Beautiful. Time to go. Captain starts the engine, and here we set off from Nachiwogo. If you have been to that area, Entebbe at the lake shores. We are setting off from Nachiwogo to the other side of Buaya. It's around a 15 minutes journey from Nachiwogo to Buaya, and if you can see the other side of the lake, there's even a boat in front ahead of us. Taking the same direction. Taking those who cannot wait for the ferry. This place has also, the MV Kalangala also sets off from here and it goes up to Kalangala. Plus those people that come here to spend some money, travel on the waters, enjoy the atmosphere and things like that. Those are the guys trained to sail this ferry. I was told that this ferry is managed by UNRA. It's UNRA's business. Actually, even when you arrive here, first thing is to register. They take all your details, but the documents where we register are documents of UNRA. They are all papers and pages, all the covers are UNRA. And as you can see, the captain here has UNRA colors. The reflection on his overall, green and white, those are colors for UNRA. They're the ones that manage this ferry and all its business, because it is them supposed to ensure that we have a bridge here. So because they have not yet put a bridge in place, they ensure that we have a ferry. Those are the other my fellow passengers on the ferry. That's our engine. Probably it's now in auto because I can see the captain attending to his phone, but we are sailing beautifully. Some nice view here of a boat coming from the Buaya side, crossing to Nachiwogo. There it is. These are other travelers on a boat. They are crossing from Buaya now to Nachiwogo. Those are people that bring merchandise, matoke, and that's why they travel to this side. Of course, for other reasons as well, not mainly business. So when they arrive at Buaya, the other side of the lake, and the ferry is not yet ready, yes, and one is willing to spend some 3,000 shillings. They get to the boats and be ferried to Nachiwogo, go to Entebbe. There's another one here. But it's still a little far, somehow distant from where we are. Beautiful pictures here. Yeah, that boat is a little far. I can see it has just one man on it. Probably could be a fisherman at work. It is even sailing so slowly, meaning he is on the waters for some different work. He could be a fisherman trying to lay his nets and other equipment that he uses to catch fish. Now the green you see is the other side of the lake where we're going to land, where we are going to dock. I beg your pardon. That area there that has those houses, yes, that's where we are going to dock in the next 10 or so minutes. That's the gentleman I suspect to be a fisherman on the waters for some other different work. The other side, it's the clean, clear Lake Victoria. You can imagine from here it goes up to the other side of Ginger, through Kalangala and all those places. Very big lake we have here. That's the floor of our ferry where we're all seated. Around 100 people, between 80 to 100 people, and between 8 to 9 vehicles, both saloon cars and lorries. These lorries they collect sand and other merchandise from the other side of the lake and bring it to Entebbe end, which continues to Kampala and other parts of the area. Those people, some of the sand that you get is collected from these ends. There are even boats that carry the same sand and bring it the side of the lake. Now, the green you see, kind of a forest, it's actually not a forest. That is now Buwaya and the other parts of the end that is across the lake. There are so many beautiful houses there. People that constructed at the shores of the lake. They have so many beautiful gardens there. A lot of work is being done that side as well. Some of the places you visit to tell the beauty of Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. We are getting closer to the docking point. I think we will end the video with, because I'm just behind the very first car on the ferry, so I have to get off number 2. So, but I think we'll have a look at what it feels like as the ferry docks, when everybody is preparing to get off the ferry. How the guys in charge handle the excited human beings that have arrived to their destinations. That's the man behind the engine. These are my fellow passengers. And now here we come towards our docking point. Like I said, across the lake there are homes. You can see some children here fetching water from the lake. When we get to the docking point, you can see the captain now off the comfort of his seat to now come and ensure that we dock the right way, safely. Yes, there's some obstruction here, but that's where we are docking. Don't mind the obstruction, although it denies us the real view, but that's where we're docking. What I want you to see is the interesting point of how it feels. If you have driven a car, this you now can't know what the captain is exactly doing. But we have arrived to the point of docking. We have crossed the lake. You can see my fellow passengers here preparing to start the engines of their boarders. You get to see how do you see that shake? We are now landing, or docking, I beg your pardon, and people have started to get off the ferry. We have arrived to the other side of the lake, to this side of the lake, which is Buwaya. And as you can see, people are off their seats to walk off the ferry. Those of us with cars, we have to wait for these people to walk off. Those with luggage to get off the ferry, so that we can also drive off slowly. Yes, and this side, they're now walking off the ferry, as we also have to start our engines. To see how we get off. That gentleman there is the one that guides those of us that drive. Thank you so much for watching. That's the trip to Buwaya via Lake Victoria.